Welcome everyone. This is B. I'm coming back to you with another video. Now this information is for entertainment and educational value. Please do your research. Now the topic of this video is going to be the cut version of a ripple or a wrinkle in time. And so my question is, what time is it? What hour is it? And perhaps, does quantum have anything to do with this, a ripple or a wrinkle in time? And where does perhaps quantum fit in here? Now, we've been, just to kind of recap on some things, we had several videos we're addressing, what about your veil, what about your crown, and all of that. But once again, welcome. So we're elevating her consciousness because we're moving to the top and we don't stop. We're moving higher and higher because consciousness is divine power. So the two things, a ripple and a wrinkle, those are things we're going to be talking about in this video. So yes, what hour is it? In this video, we're talking about a lot about prophecy, Bible prophecy, because there's no way we can know anything except we travel back in time and we read the account and see what is going on. And so when we're talking about the time, this is a lot about the time. What time is it? Are we living in? And in Matthew 24 and 22 it says, except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. So I'm thinking about, how can the days be shortened? And we're going to get further into that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But in Acts 3 and 1, it's talking about the ninth hour. Now Peter and John went up together into the temple at the hour of prayer. You might want to say this is an hour of prayer. This hour right now is an hour of prayer, which would be considered as the ninth hour. And when you talk about, the nine is the number of completion. And when the sixth hour in Matthew 15 and 33, it says, and when the sixth hour was come, there was darkness over the whole land until the ninth hour. So once again, when the sixth hour was come, there was darkness over the whole land until the ninth hour. And that's in Mark 15:33. And Luke 12 and 40, it says, be ye therefore ready also, for the Son of Man cometh at an hour when you think not. And also in Mark 15 and 25, it's saying it was the third hour, and they crucified him in the third hour. Some of the events that took place in Revelation, this is all prophecy. We're traveling back in time. Okay, this is not current. This is looking, and this is actually what we're doing is we're reflecting on Bible prophecy once more now and again. Some of the events that took place in Revelation was plagues, water events, hailstorms, and earthquakes. And you can read further on there what took place in the book of Revelation. Most of all this information in the bottom here came from the book of Revelation. All right. So once more now and again, what hour is it? What time is it on the clock of God? A ripple or a wrinkle in time. And so found this scripture, Revelations 22:10. And he said unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. And so I thought about that whenever I was reading and researching about a wrinkle in time. There's a book that was written, and I think it was in 1962. I'll get further into that and later on in this video. But A Wrinkle in Time was a book, and it was banned multiple times. So we'll get further into that. So what is a in microeconomics, a ripple, right? This is an example of how a ripple effect would happen. It says an individual's reduction in spending reduces the incomes of others and their ability to spend. So it's just like, say for example, you think about domino effect. What happens wherever it occurs, it flows out, right? Well, if you drop a pebble in the water, it flows out farther out, right? And it reaches. And so that's a quantitative aspect of ripple, or say for example a ripple effect. And sometimes it's used informally to say things like that. A wrinkle in time, on the other hand, is a slight line or fold in something. For example, fabric or a person's face, which shows the age of something, right? A crease which is a line or ridge produced on paper or a piece of cloth by folding. And as I'm imagining this, I'm thinking about it. I take a sheet of paper, for example, maybe an 8x10, fold it in half. And when you fold that paper in half once, guess what? The surface area that you have to move across that piece of paper is less. It's basically cut in half. And if you fold it again, you will cut it in half again. And so that will reduce the time or the surface area of that going across that piece of paper. So that's just kind of a visual idea of what a wrinkle in time. Just imagine, because I'm thinking, now spirits wants us to really look at these things in a spiritual aspect. Like even a lot of the things that we were talking about in the prophecy. A lot of the things that as you're thinking about it, not so much in a way of it's physically, but in a way spiritually. Thinking about going in your inner self and your inner man. This is what this journey has been all about for me, is to do a deep soul search and just try to get a better understanding of myself and understanding of what, how I've been moving along in this life. And so that's what I think that we need to mainly be focusing on, ourselves, our inner man and ourself, and seeing how a lot of things even in the world is affecting us right now. And it's gonna take us going deep within to be able to get some answers. And that's pretty much just what I basically have been, working towards. And I think when you do that, there's many ways to look at things, but we have to think about the role that we're playing in all of this and all the world's changes and everything, and then how we're going to fit into and how we're going to ascend or rise above a lot of the situations that's going on around us. And if you've been watching all these videos, I'm sure you could see how you can basically rise above this, and I'm thinking with a wrinkle or a ripple in time is basically sort of in some ways redeeming the time, because we got to take back the time that we wasted, take back time or redeem the time right now to focus in on building ourselves up on our inner man, okay, in our spirit, and so that's the main focus and main goal where I want to go towards. That's why I named this channel, I changed the name to be Elevating Consciousness, because when I elevate my consciousness, I know that I'm rising above whatever has been taking place, whatever has been going on around me. It's not going to be having an effect on me personally or in my spirit, because I'm forming the way how I look at these things, okay? And I really do believe, as the scripture has said, that except the days be shortened, okay? That way no one be saved, because that you save you have to save yourself that way by rising above in your spirit, rising above. So this is what this really is all about. So continue to follow me here with this in this video, and you're going to see how we're going to really go in on some things that are going to enlighten us further on how we can see things, and this is what we're going to do, okay? Okay, yes, this is the, on the right here, you have the Seven Sister Star Cluster. And I just got this picture and carried on into this transmission with this video. See Alkyone, which is the brightest star amongst the Seven Sister Star Cluster here, as you can see right here. And so we're going to be talking about the galactic, the great galactic alignment that took place in 2020. Just going to go ahead on and we're going to travel back in time in regards to that information, because it is past, okay? But yes, we'll be talking about that as well, so I just want to highlight that. All right, all on flight, ride with me, okay? We are going to be flying high, because we're going to be talking about the Great Conjunction. We're going to be talking about a lot of things in regards to the alignment with the stars. So we're going to be looking up rather than down deep in the ocean this time. We're going to be flying high. So ride with me. All right. I hope you are shining bright. Bright as a star. Bright as a diamond today. And we're just going to go through and continue. So we're talking about a ripple or a wrinkle in time, right? And perhaps what does quantum has to do with it? We talked about previously, like in, I mean, I don't know how many videos back we spoke about quantum and what the quantum leap did to in technology, and I think a lot quantum does have a lot to do with how we have been fast forwarding, or how it caused a crease in time, so that now we're further along than we ever thought in our ascension process. And so yeah, so that's some of the things that I've been wanting to focus on. So let's go back over what a ripple. The ripple effect is often used colloquially to mean a multiplier in macroeconomics. For example, an individual's reduction in spending reduces the incomes of others and their ability to spend. So what causes a ripple? Okay, for example, if you dropped a pebble in the water, it would cause a ripple, right? But if you dropped a boulder in the water, it would cause a big wave. And also, if you have a pebble dropping in the water and the wind blows, it also can create bigger waves, or the ripples would be larger than just a small wave, right? Or a ripple, just like a flowing water. And so one of the key things that we've learned in reference to ripples, is the instant effect of the wind on the water. And in Genesis, it talked about how the Spirit of the Most High moved upon the waters, which indicates that there is the Aquarian age, a new beginning, a new start. And so, and also that the Aquarian age is also referred to the Golden Age, right? And so when a ripple or a wind blows upon the water, and they die down as quickly as they form, the ripples, the waves on the water, as the surface tension of the water dampens their efforts. If a wind basically blows steadily across a large enough patch of water for a few hours, then the ripples become waves, and these will not be dampened so easily. A wrinkle, on the other hand, is a slight line or fold. We talked about something in fabric or a person's face, which shows the age, right? Crease is a line or a ridge, and I explained it already about how that would be what would be the effect of that would basically shorten time in some ways, right? So there's a couple things there. Quantum, the quantum leap. If you take a big leap, it's just like you just pretty much pass through time so quickly. If you didn't have that technology and a lot of things, wouldn't be able to do it. So it saved time, and even as so times in some ways have been moving faster, and we probably didn't realize it because of technology, as well as you know many other things or factors. And I'm sure there's other factors that can cause a wrinkle or a ripple in time. But all in all, in a qualitative aspect, which is when I'm thinking about it qualitative, I'm thinking more of the spiritual aspect of things, which is the wrinkle. Because we talked about all that, everything with the water and how it's Aquarian age, a new beginning, and all that. So that mainly is what that's going to refer to for us here. But A Wrinkle in Time is also a book, which the book was about the battle between good and evil, and the ultimate triumph of love. And I think I said, I know that when we have love ruling and reigning in our hearts, guess what? It's like it really raptures you in a lot of ways, to a certain degree, where you know you get this feeling of bliss and all, you know and just to think that you're loved so much that just a little bit of kindness, it says so the wrinkle in time shows people that it only takes a little bit of kindness to erase years of hurt. Yes, that's what it says. And so, yes, that's basically what we want to have an understanding of. That since the publication in 1962, A Wrinkle in Time has become one of the most frequently banned or challenged books for multiple reasons. A Wrinkle in Time, because it deals overtly, meaning it really outwardly deals with the problem of evil, and basically it was thought that the book, right, it was too difficult for children, and it was thought that perhaps maybe it's not really just a children's book, or it's maybe more like an adult book. And so that was kind of some of the reasons why the book was banned, right? And so it was called an improbable success. A Wrinkle in Time was rejected 26 times. Right? So when you think about something like that, I'm thinking about we need to just lay up our treasure in heaven, right? Where moth nor dust corrupt, and where thieves cannot break through and steal. Right? Because where your treasure is, your heart is also. And we talked about how the light of the body is the eye. And if your body, if your eye be single, your whole body should be full of light. But if your eye is evil, your whole body should be full of darkness. And if the light that is in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? Right? So talking about some spiritual things, we're talking about spiritual things. Light, love. When you get in a more of a spiritual aspect of things, then you want to be more expressing the light and love, especially during these times that we're in. So basically in Hebrews 10, he said 10 and 16, it says, "This is the covenant that I will make with them after those days, saith the Most High. I will put my laws in their hearts, and in their minds will I write them." So he wants to put the laws in our hearts, in our minds, and write them in there. So we want to get these things in our minds, in our hearts. So because once that happens, guess what? We're just walking, we're just walking as, truth. We're walking truth. We're walking love and everything. So we don't have to be relying on, outside of us to make us happy, or to cause us to be content and to be satisfied. Because once you build that up on the inside, then you're able to be content within. So, and then Psalms, we talked a lot about David, the Psalm of David the psalmist, right, in the scriptures. In Psalms 15 verse 1 and 2, it says, Most High, or he said, Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? And he said, He that walketh uprightly and work righteousness and speaketh the truth in his heart. All right. And David in Psalm 61 and 4, he says, I will abide in thy tabernacle forever. I will trust in the covert of thy wings, Selah. And then he says, Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. Write them upon the table of thine heart. Proverbs 3 and 3. In Psalms 89 and 28, it says, My covenant will I not break, nor alter the things that has gone out of my lips. Psalms 105 and 8, He hath remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, which covenant he made with Abraham, and his oath unto Isaac. Psalms 105 and 9, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. Verse 10 actually. So in Hebrews 8, it says, For if that first covenant had been faultless, if you watched the other video, we talked about, the faults and different things like that, or lying, or just imperfections or flaws. When you think about people, individuals, no one is really perfect, right? Everybody have a flaw here and there. You just can't, you're not perfect. So you have to realize that you're not perfect in order to understand, So, but when in the beginning, in creation and time, it talks about how the covenant, the first covenant, or the first Adam had been, if it was faultless, then there should have been no place to have been sought for the second, or the creation of the second Adam, which has to do with the immaculate birth of Christ, and so forth. And those people who are believers in the Bible and everything, you understand what happened with the birth of Christ and all of that. And we talked also about Andreas. We addressed that, and all of that. And so, if something is without faults, guess what? There's no need to change. There's a lot of things in our system, in the system of the world today. There are a lot of things that needs changing. They need changing, right? Because if it didn't need changing, then we wouldn't be having all the chaos and all the things, the confusion that we have going on. And so, guess what? There's some faults that's going on, imperfections. Look at it like that, imperfections. Or if any man would sit and say, or anybody, that you can always improve in something, right? But in this case, there are a lot of things. It seems though there needs to be a makeover, a do-over of many systems and many programs and different things in the society that were, some of it was obsolete. It's obsolete. When something becomes obsolete, then you're going to have something new, something going to take the place, and something is going to change and cause it to be an upgrade. There needs to be an upgrade, from the top to the bottom, looks like, in a lot of ways, correct? And so there was being sought. So it's just now what it is, it's like a process that is going on, that has already been in motion. But a lot of us may think, is this really, what time is it? Is this really the time that we really thought about for many, many, eons ago, or what even the prophecies in the scriptures and what it has said? Is this really the hour? Is this really the time that these things are going to be taking place? So in Hebrews 9:3, it says, and after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the holiest of all. Okay, so there's a greater tabernacle, not made with hands. Okay, a greater tabernacle, not made with hands. And I express that because when I said it never was about that house out there, it never was about that building over there, or that church or place that's far away from you, the one that you have to go, or the building, or even the house or the building that you're in. But it's more about you, the most important. You're the most important person that is in your house right now. If you're sitting down in your house, you're the most important part. You're more important than that building, the construction that you're in. And so that's what we mainly have to do, to understand these things, in regards to the inner man, and in regards to the hidden man, right? Psalms 91:1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. So how about we lay up ourselves some treasures in heaven, where moth and rust do not corrupt, and where thieves cannot break through and steal. No one can take away your inner man. No one can take away your spirit, right? So the influence of quantum physics on a wrinkle in time is undeniable. So see, Engel conceived of the book while reading about cosmology, right? She was reading about cosmology, just about the cosmos, on a cross-country road trip with her husband and children. She says, I started reading what Einstein wrote about time. Yeah, she says, I started reading what Einstein wrote about time. She writes, and I use a lot of those principles to make a universe that was creative and yet believable, she says. So quantum physics isn't the only discipline whose conception of time influenced the novel. So Engel's fascination with time pervades her fiction and nonfiction, especially as concerns with Kairos, Kairos, a concept from classical rhetoric meaning roughly to say or do the right thing at the right time. So then, once more, it says Kairos, a concept from classical rhetoric meaning roughly to say or do the right thing at the right time. Both Kairos and Chronos, which is Chronos, are Greek words for time. So Kairos and Chronos are Greek words for time. Kairos is a term for which there is no English cognate. It is usually found in opposition to Chronos. So Kairos is usually defined in opposition to Kairos. Simply, Chronos is time that can be objectively, quantitatively measured. So you think about, you can measure time, the month, from one month to the other, or from the year. You can count all the days in a year and all that. But Kairos, on the other hand, is more subjective and qualitative. Just like we were saying, a wrinkle in time is more subjective and more qualitative than, for example, to say a ripple in time, right? Sometimes theologians translate Kairos as God's time. El Engel seems to prefer the definition real time. RT is real time. All right, so in a wrinkle in time, determining the right timing for the rescue mission is a frequent topic of discussion for the mysterious Mrs. Who, or Mrs. Who. Oh, and it says whose dialogue mostly consists of quotations, which was warning Charles Wallace. It's getting near time. Okay, this is what was being said in the book. It's getting near time. Charles C. Getting near time. So, is this the right time? Okay, is this the right time for a rescue mission? That's what they were saying. This is the right time, because that's what they were saying in regards to the concept. That so a lot of things you got to get the concept of, right? The concept from the classical rhetoric, meaning roughly to say or do the right thing. Is this the right time to do? Is this time to do the right thing at the right time? But they were talking about the rescue mission. He said determining the right timing for the rescue mission is a frequent topic of discussion for the mysterious Mrs. Who, whose dialogue mostly consists of quotations, which was warning Charles Wallace. It was like a warning from Charles Wallace. It's getting near time. Charles C. is getting near time. Are we at the right time? Is this the right time for a rescue mission, according to the wrinkle in time? So a wrinkle in time can forge an opportunity, perhaps, for a rescue mission. Some might also say a ripple in time can forge an opportunity as well. So spiritually, in a spiritual sense, when you get the concept, that means our focus needs to be on preparation. So because when you're prepared for something, guess what? You're not in fear, because you're prepared. You're in less fear and less worry about things when you know that you are prepared for something, right? When you're prepared for something, you're in less fear, right? Because you're busy preparing yourself spiritually, and when you're preparing yourself spiritually, you're thinking about the wonderful things, right? You're thinking about the light and the truth that's coming out of everything. So Psalms 90 and 4, it says, "For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday when it is past, and as a watch in the night." Second Peter, it says, "But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000." One day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day. 2 Peter 3, 8 through 13. Talking about time. What time is it? Right? What time is it? 1,000 years in the sight of the Most High are as yesterday when it is past, and as a watch in the night, even in one night, right? So on December the 21st, 2020, right? This is the year, as the year had came to the close. The skies put on a final show of the year on the longest night of the year, as sky gazers on Earth witness the rare union of planets Jupiter and Saturn on December the 21st. The two gas giants appear as a single speck of dot glowing in the night, and people from all around the earth looked up at the skies to watch these distant worlds appear as one after 400 years. So now if you don't believe in God or ET or extraterrestrials, basically I'm going to tell you right now, ET phone home and the like. If you don't believe that, I don't know what to tell you. But all I can say, do you see the handiworks? Do you see the handiworks? Look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. Right? Look up. You see, the conjunctions usually occur when two celestial objects appear to pass close to one another when seen from the earth. The heavenly bodies simply appear to be close when seen from Earth due to their orbital alignment. They were placed at an angle separation of nearly 0.1 degrees or so. This close proximity was last witnessed in the year 1623, just after famous Italian astronomer Galileo. So just after, the close proximity was last witnessed in the year 1623, just after famous Italian astronomer Galileo started observing the sky using a telescope. After 2020, such a close approach of Jupiter and Saturn will happen again in the year 2080. So this conjunction will not happen until, once more again, until 2080. The year 2080. So this conjunction will not take place again until 2080. Right? And the next one after that will be 2417. So in case you miss the lifetime celestial event, go online to view. You can view the recording of that. So, when I think about some folks, they don't even believe in this. They say, don't go up there. Stay down here. Don't go. You don't have no business up there, right? But yes, I'm going to leave the link so you can go and actually watch. So yes, I'm going to leave the link so you can actually watch the actual recording of the conjunction, right? So another event that happened, another alignment that took place this year, or not this year. Yeah, this year actually. This year, the Lionsgate portal and new moon are extra potent, right? They were extra potent. It happened on August the 8th this year. And just a little sidebar, this year coming up, there's going to be this is a little side, I'm just throwing this in here. The Chinese zodiac, or the Chinese astrological chart, shows that 2022 is the year of the tiger. Okay. So getting back to the Lionsgate portal, which was activated on August the 8th, and I think it lasted for a certain period of time. But I don't think I didn't put that down here. But anyway, it was activated on August 8th. The sun and the star Sirius got closest to Earth and aligned with Orion's belt, When Sirius, known as the spiritual sun, and the sun in Leo come together, they generate a portal for rapid spiritual growth. So I think this is something that this is absolutely something that you can observe every year around this time, right? And so the Lionsgate portal energy is running high during this time. And like these ones can, it could take you, when these types of events happen like this, is alignments and everything, you could take advantage of opportunities for ultimate manifestations of power. Remember, power always comes from within you. So we're talking about elevating her consciousness here. So visualization is a powerful tool when it comes to manifesting and working with the law of attraction. Okay, so I'm just dropping some gems here. You're supposed to set an intention, get clear on your manifestation or whatever you want to manifest. You think about, creating a memory board so you can get an image or, an objective. It could be photos, quotes, or anything. A lot of times what I would use, I would just kind of put down a lot of quotes and meditate on it. That's what I would do. And then arrange on a board in a way that, it inspires you. So a display board. Something that can be visible, that you can see every day. And also, you might want to figure out what crystal that represents the day that you came on the planet. What crystal represents the day that you came on the planet? Meditate on it, align it with your chakra. All right. So doing this alignment, our astrological galactic evolutionary triangle, basically a tetrahedron of energy, which is formed by the Earth, Sirius, Alcyone, that bright star, the brightest star, Alcyone, and the galactic center is amplified into its greatest potential for the year. So that, put a comment below if you know what the tetrahedron of energy is. The tetrahedron, I did talk about it previously. Basically, what the tetrahedron is, what actually forms is the macabre, right? This amplified tetrahedron of energy that surrounds us seeks to structure the water within our bodies into liquid crystals, bathing all 100 trillion cells within our body in galactic liquid crystal template frequencies. So when we structure the water within our bodies, we become walking liquid crystals. Liquid crystals have the capacity to absorb, store, emit, amplify, and transduce energy. Say that once more and again. Liquid crystals have the capacity to absorb, store, emit, amplify, and transduce energy. Think about a lot of the videos that we did previously talking about, the energy, vibration. Okay, so what are we doing? We're elevating our vibration. We're elevating our consciousness so that we can vibrate high at a higher frequency. And the more you meditate, the more you pray, you meditate, and you focus on the things that you want. You focus on these wonderful things. And so this is some of the things that I have been doing. I will continue to do in order to elevate my consciousness, in order to, thicken my auras around me, in order to the aura that's around me, to build up my crowns and chakras and all these things around me, right? This is the things you have to do in order to elevate higher and to ascend spiritually. So this is a time that we need to focus in on these areas in the inner man, in the hidden man, not being so much concerned about what's going on out there, whether it be, whatever is shaking, but it's the great shaking is to shake us, right? So basically, if you've been shaken, like I had said this once before, when you think about shaking, you're thinking about, I'm thinking more of the inner, in a spiritual way, in a spiritual manner. So then when I'm shaking, I know that because I had an anchor, right? The anchor, my beliefs, my faith and beliefs anchored me to be able to stand in this evil day, right? So no matter what's coming, no matter what's happening out there, I'm standing firm in my beliefs and faith. So, if you know that energy, right, it can either be matter can either be destroyed. Energy cannot be destroyed. It's neither created nor destroyed, or matter, but it's just converted from one form to another. Meaning we have the capacity to absorb the cosmic evolutionary triangle frequencies and align with their divinity, awakening to our grander evolutionary purpose. So we need to rise to the occasion. We need to elevate our consciousness, be more spiritually inclined so that we may be able to align with our purpose. Moving forward in this life, move forward into the golden age, move forward into this age of Aquarius. Every thought, feeling, word, action is amplified during this time, enhancing our capacity to transmute old cellular memories, shift the expression of our DNA, and support the body to naturally heal, awaken, and evolve. So we're evolving during the time. When you have a situation when there's chaos going on, this is a time for us to evolve. This is a time for us to ascend. This is a time for us to elevate our consciousness. Go deep within. Do your work. Do your spiritual work. Do your work on yourself so that, whatever it is, you'll be able to stand. Okay, so we just finished talking about, let's continue to talk about that great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, and how Jupiter, it lapsed Saturn every 20 years. You see, in one Earth year, Jupiter closes the gap between itself and Saturn by about 18 degrees. So in a period of 20 Earth years, Jupiter has orbited around for another pass of Saturn along the ecliptic, So 360 degrees divided by 18 degrees per year is 20 years, thereby lapping the ringed planet once every 2 decades, which is 20 years. So while we are up here so high, I just want to talk about the book of Ezekiel. In the book, it talks about the whirlwind that came out of the north. It was a great cloud and fire, and it talked about the creatures. These creatures was as the color of terrible crystal, it says. And so it was, and it talks about how, and I knew, I was looking up to see what that terrible crystal was about. It looks like a white crystal in some place, so I'm not sure what type of crystal that was that these creatures have on their heads. So because it says these creatures was as the color of terrible crystal stretched forth over their heads above. And they had wings, and it walked, and it talked about the wheels. So in Ezekiel, it talked about these wheels. So just to make a long story short here, right? Ezekiel said, this was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And he said, when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice spake, and they was telling him about the house of Israel, how they were a stiff-necked, impudent, rebellious people. Then he rolled out a book out to him that had lamentations, mourning, and woe was written all in it. And so, what do you think about that? Because this is right out of scripture, this is right out of the Bible. I think a lot of people read over this, they don't really consider that what happened. But during my time travel, I had the opportunity to sit down with Bill Cooper, or somebody might know him as William Cooper. Just to kind of go in to make a long story short once more again, I wanted to say that there were some things that happened with the situation with this individual. I guess he was exposing some secrets or what have you, and all of that, and I'm not sure what happened and what took place there, but I was listening to his conversation that he was having with one of the ET, or one of the extraterrestrial beings. And what I heard being said was that the political and religious dogma that has been going on in the world. Now, he said this is a while ago. This is a long time ago, and I guess way back in the 60s. And so some may, and I think this religious and political dogma is like the Hegelian dialectic or something like that. I would say it will be pretty much like that, because you have these two opposing sides. It just continues to keep control, division amongst the people and what have you. But he said, the ET said that this is one of the biggest problems in the earth that we're struggling with. And so, and it brought to my mind, is this something that also will be needing to be, I don't know, perhaps a new paradigm, or in the new world, would this be something that would be being addressed? Would this be addressed in the new world? We're, a lot of other things are being addressed, such as the schools, prisons, how the law is being addressed, the medical field. A lot of things is being addressed, and a lot of the things that are being addressed is mainly because of the quantum leap, right, that we have taken, which I feel like in so many ways has caused a wrinkle in time, because we have bought back so much time has been redeemed, that what would have taken probably maybe another 1,000 years is taking, like, a short time now, a very, very short time. I don't know, you do the math. I'm not really, I don't have that calculation going on right there, but if you just see in the spirit, you could just see there is some time being redeemed, because through technology, through the quantum leap, and through and also the love. Everybody who have the love in their hearts, people who are willing to transcend, like the wrinkle, the book, The Wrinkle in Time, spoke about just a little bit of how a little bit of love can erase just a little bit of love can erase a lot of hurt from years and years and years and years, if that person chooses to view it in that way. If you ascend spiritually, if you allow your consciousness to be elevated in a certain way, then you'll be looking at you will probably look at things in a different way. And that's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to just go within my inner man, and to see how I can do better, how I can ascend in myself, rise above all of this chaos and confusion. So, like I said, if you know about science, you know that matter can neither be created nor destroyed, but it only can change from one state to another, or from one form to another. So is there life after death? I would have to say there has to be a life life after death, right? Because of the spirit. This is the way that we're ascending in our spirit. You know, whether you believe in the rapture or what have you, you know, and whatever God is to you, that answer that question. But the question that you have to answer to yourself is that, do you believe in God? Do you believe in God, right? Do you believe in the inner God in yourself too? Okay? Do you believe that there's there's something bigger than you? That there's in the universe. Do you believe in the universe, the collective, or the collective consciousness of the universe, and how that is playing a whole big role? But I'm telling you, something is out there, so you don't poop your pants, and so your heart won't fail. Get ready, be ready. Everyone that did not sell themselves out by not failing to doing the inner work, failing to um, doing your soul search, and just going within and discovering and seeing more about what you need to do to contribute to the light. Be in the light, be the light, right? So my question remains is, could it be that God will show himself, right? Are you going to ascend? Are you going to rise above the circumstances that seems to be so confusing, that seems to be so chaotic right now? And whether that God would look like you, or because from what I can see, a lot of things have been a mystery. Everything else has been a mystery. So when you think about what's out there, it could be a mystery as well. But will God and the mighty host of his angels show up? Is this a time for a rapture? Or some may say the ascension. The Anunnaki is coming. And who is the Anunnaki? Put a comment below if you know. Who is that? I'm asking the questions. All I am telling you is that something is surely out there. Something is up. Okay. And see, you thinking, well, we're in the golden age, and we're in a time right now that somebody might say, it don't look so golden right now, right? But some things, could just be in the refinery. Could just be in a refinery. But I can tell you this, in Luke 11:33, it says, "No man, when he have lighted a candle, put it in a secret place, neither under a bushel, but on a candlestick, that they which come in may see the light." Psalms 18:11, "He made darkness his secret place." I started thinking about Bane. Bane in the Dark Knight Rises. He says, "You think darkness is your ally?" He said, "I was born in it, molded by it." And his pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. Psalm 91:1, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." Yes, indeed. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And in Ezekiel 7:22, it says, "My face will I turn also from them, Yeah, so that's basically, I want to end it right there. I didn't want to add that extra part. But I think that's a very powerful scripture in Psalm 91, which I actually I talked about that previously. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Most High. What time is it? What hour is it? And when you think about this in the spiritual aspect, as we've been traveling back through time, when you think about the story of the birth of Christ and the crucifixion as well, what happened, but we're talking about dying to self now. This is what I want to say. We know that happened thousands and thousands of years ago, but today, when we begin to reflect on these things, we're thinking about some things we'll have to deny ourselves of spiritually, so that we can be awakened to new light. This is what spirits want. This is how spirit wants us to view these things. Wants us to see this whole process. The whole process is going on in the world right now. Not to focus so much on death, hell, and destruction as far as the planet is concerned, but to us going within, going in the inner man, in our inner parts, and meditating. We're going within to where we hear little, where we say little, but we know much. Little is said, little is heard, but much is known. And so when we get in that quiet place, and that's where we're in the secret place, okay, this is the spiritual awakening, okay, that we need to transcend to. This is where we need to elevate to, and this is where we need to abide. We need to continue to abide here, so that the Most High will inhabit our space. He will inhabit and will continue to keep us and protect us and be all around us. What time is it? What hour is it? And the hour, as we talked about previously in the beginning of this transmission, is that the ninth hour was the hour of prayer. Personally, I would say this would have to be like we're getting and be closer into the ninth hour, where this is the hour of prayer, hour of meditation, an hour of prayer, so that we can be continue to ascend in our and to be raptured in the love of the Most High. And some might think that it's going to actually literally happen, but before that can happen, it has to be in us, right? We cannot. You have to be able to imagine. You have to be able to conceive this whole thing. You have to this whole concept of the rapture, the whole concept of ascension. You have to be able to conceive it, right? You have to be able to understand the concept before it could actually really happen. If that's something that's going to happen, it has to be conceived in you first, right? So know that. Having said that, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Hopefully you have learned a lot and have grasped a lot, and you get the concept of the spiritual awakening, the spiritual aspect, and that the love of the Most High is just all in you and around you, and being all encompassing, so that you can be able to continue to live this type of life, a life of love and peace. Thank you. And I appreciate each and every one of you. highlight some things, right, from this transmission here of this here. To highlight a few things, I want to say once more again, what time is it and what hour is it? And from the transmission, we learned that the 9th hour was an hour of prayer. So this is an hour of prayer. I would say this is the hour that we need to begin to meditate and begin to visualize, new things in our life. We need to visualize a new world, and we need to begin to conceptualize a new world, conceptualize what this golden age would look like for us, and this new world, how would that look like for us, which we're moving in and towards, right? So a ripple or a wrinkle in time. When we think about a ripple in time, we're thinking about a ripple of time is more like the quantitative aspect of time. Can be measured. We can count up the days, years, months, and so forth. And on the other hand, we have the wrinkle in time, which is more of a qualitative aspect of time, where as the book A Wrinkle in Time was saying, that a little bit of kindness can erase years of hurt. So, and that's where I want to lean more towards, because Spirit is saying to elevate your consciousness, to go within, to understand and begin to understand what it is that you want, how you fit into the equation, this whole equation. Because I'm going to say, yeah, it's a whole equation, because as you go, when we started looking more into what El Engel was talking about in The Wrinkle of Time, they were addressing, overtly the problem of evil. But at the end of the day, we want to realize that a little bit of kindness can erase a lot of hurt. Even though we have so much evil in the world and so forth, at the end of the day, the wrinkle in time can be able to transcend across or rise above. So what we're doing, we're coming to our spiritual man and our spiritual ascension more. So that's where we want to be at, right there, where we can focus in on our spiritual aspects of life and not be so caught up with what's going on out there, to the point where people's hearts are failing them, or we're just, we're getting too much fear, building up fear. But when you go on the inner man, you begin to focus in on that aspect of life, the qualitative aspect, not worrying about how much money in the bank, not worrying about this and that. I mean, worrying about it to the point of we're just frightened out of our boots for everything. But to ascend and to rise above a lot of the chaos, rise above a lot of confusion, elevating your consciousness. This is why I created this channel, is for me to be able to begin to understand everything, and then be able to rise above whatever it is that is going on outside, not allowing those things to, crowd me out to the point where, I'm not getting a vision as to what I want out of this, where I'm going and where I'm heading or moving forward to. So yes, so that is pretty much what I wanted to just, kind of highlight, these aspects of, the more of the qualitative aspects. And we talked about how in the scripture it says, except the days be short, there will be no one saved. But because the days are short, because of the lack, and the days are being shortened, so then how that's redeeming the time for us, so that we want to be in an area where that things are going to be more effective, more efficient, because that's what I'm thinking when you think about all the quantum leap, the technology that we have. in how that took us. Now that, a lot of things that's taken us thousands of years to accomplish is now, it's, taking place very quickly. And so time is being redeemed and so forth. So I hope that this, all these messages, and that this transmission has been very enlightening to you, that it has been, something that you're doing your inner work, and you're getting a vision of how you want to move forward in this golden age, and that it will be so much, much more wonderful, just as you've imagined it to be awesome. And so that's what I'm hoping, and that's what I'm believing. And I have, created all my, I've gotten a vision as to how I want to move forward. And so I know, and I'm believing that's just the way everything is going to pan out, regardless of what's going on out there and how everything is going on out there. But after having said that, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you.